President, is there anything China, Canada, and Mexico can do tonight to forestall your implementation of tariffs tomorrow?
No, nothing. Not right now, no.
Not a negotiation?
A trade war is starting right now between China, Canada, Mexico, and the US. Let's watch.
There are growing fears of a major global trade war tonight after President Trump announced sweeping tariffs on imports from Canada, Mexico and China starting tomorrow. And he added that very substantial tariffs would follow for the European Union. Goods exported from Canada and Mexico to the US will be hit with a 25% tariff. Products from China with 10%. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said his country would face difficult times as a result, but promised a forceful retaliation. From Washington, here's our North America editor, Sarah Smith.
He had promised to introduce tough tariffs on day one. President Trump's obviously a couple of weeks late, but clearly excited about one of his favourite policy tools.
I always say tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary, because tariffs are going to make us rich as hell. It's going to bring our country's businesses back that left us.
President Trump wants both Mexico and Canada to do more to stop migrants crossing their borders and into America, and to stem the flow of illegal drugs, including fentanyl, that's flooding into the US.
The president will be implementing tomorrow a 25% tariffs on Mexico, 25% tariffs on Canada, and a 10% tariff on China for the illegal fentanyl that they have sourced and allowed to distribute into our country.
Hundreds of billions of dollars worth of imports are trucked from Mexico and Canada into America and the other way around. They are each other's biggest trading partners by far. For instance, 90% of the avocados sold in America come from Mexico. Charging a 25% tax on each fruit that crosses the border will hurt Mexican exporters, but it also risks increasing prices for American consumers. Canada's biggest export to America is oil. Even 10% import tariffs risk raising costs for Americans, and of course Canada will also feel the pain if America buys less of their oil. The Prime Minister says he's ready to respond.
If the President does choose to implement any tariffs against Canada, we're ready with a response. A purposeful, forceful, but reasonable, immediate response.
10% tariffs will be charged on all the electronic and other goods that are shipped to America from China. Donald Trump says he wants China to stop fentanyl being exported to America, but of course it doesn't hurt to also punish one of your biggest global competitors. Donald Trump firmly believes he is the world's best negotiator and appears confident that punishing tariffs will force other nations to do what he wants. But if that doesn't happen quickly, he is risking a trade war that could result in American voters paying the price.
And let's talk.
Well, I'm not sure what to think. Do you think a trade war is gonna blow out? I'm not so sure about that. I think the country are gonna basically choose to comply. They are gonna choose to do what Donald Trump wants to do because it will cost too much otherwise.
U.S. President Trump has announced he's imposing tariffs on the U.S. three largest trading partners, Canada, Mexico, and China, as soon as Saturday. The White House says it will implement a 25% tax on imports from Canada and Mexico and a 10% tax on goods from China. Trump has also threatened the EU with similar measures, but has offered no clear timeline. Trump had pledged the measure to boost local manufacturing in the U.S. and to pressure its neighbors to do more to stop the flow of migrants and illicit drugs into the country. Now, both Canada and Mexico have said they're ready to retaliate, but analysts say the U.S. tax will likely deal a heavy blow to Mexico, Latin America's second largest economy.
Factory workers in the Mexican border city of Ciudad Juarez are producing metal parts to be packed up and sent to the United States. It is one of Mexico's maquiladoras. These manufacturing plants, often owned by foreign companies, pair cheap Mexican labour costs with the benefit of doing business in the US market. A thriving industry that is threatened by US President Donald Trump's promise to impose high tariffs on goods coming from Mexico.
Our disadvantage here at the US border is that 60% of formal employment is in the maquiladora industry. This industry could leave because of the tariffs, because it would no longer be profitable to operate on the Mexican side of the border.
Trump says he will impose tariffs on goods entering the United States from Mexico, Canada, China and the EU. These import taxes will create revenue for the US government, whilst also giving locally produced goods a price advantage over imports. Trump says that tariffs will balance out trading imbalances with these countries, be a boon to US manufacturing, and are also punishment for what he perceives as a threat to US security.
We're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
His plans have put his neighbours on the defensive.
Canadian energy powers American manufacturing, businesses, and homes. Of America's top 5 trading partners, Canada is the only one with whom the United States runs a trade surplus in manufacturing. And Canada buys more goods made by Americans than China, Japan, and Germany combined.
The introduction of tariffs could also have negative consequences domestically.
I'm just skeptical that the way you get countries to sort of cooperate is by poisoning the well with the threat of really crippling, effectively economic sanctions that also hurt American consumers. I think that's the thing that needs to be reiterated here is that ultimately American consumers will bear the costs of these tariffs.
I don't think that's the case at all. Honestly, I think there are plenty of products to buy in America that does not come from Mexico, from the EU, and from China. What Donald Trump wants is to boost the American economy, is to make money from other countries and not tax his own people as a way to make money. I think it's gonna work. I think Donald Trump knows exactly what he's doing. I think he knows how to negotiate. He wrote a book a long time ago called The Art of the Deal, and he is a great negotiator. He knows how to get the best out of people, how to get what he wants from people as well. I think these tariffs are not gonna last long. Canada, Mexico, the EU and China are gonna realize that it is very, very detrimental to have these tariffs put in place if they want to keep doing business in the USA and send tons of product in the US economy. And eventually they will capitulate. Eventually they will comply with all the demands that Donald Trump wants from them, such as stopping illegal immigration, stopping fentanyl from coming over the border into America. This is a war on drugs by Donald Trump. He uses tariff as a negotiating lever to make all of these countries comply. I think it is a great strategy. Honestly, I'm not so sure if it's gonna work, but I do believe that it is going to work, and let's hear exactly why.
You're also talking about 20% tariffs on the rest of the world. That is going to have a serious effect on the overall economy. And yes, you're going to find some people who will gain from individual tariffs. The overall effect could be massive in terms of the economy.
I agree it's going to have a massive effect, positive effect. It's going to be a positive, not a negative.
Well,
let me just I know how committed you are to this, and it must be hard for you to spend 25 years talking about tariffs as being negative and then have somebody explain to you that you're totally wrong. It'll have a negative. It will have. I'll go a step further.
40 million, President Trump, 40 million jobs is a lot of jobs to rely on.
They're all coming back.
Those are 40 million jobs. Those are 40 million jobs in America that rely on trade.
Are you ready? John Deere, great company. They announced about a year ago they're going to build big plants outside of the United States, right? They're going to build them in Mexico.
And you threatened them with tariffs and they stopped.
That's right. I said, if John Deere builds those plants and not selling anything into the United States, They just announced yesterday they're probably not going to build the plants, okay? I kept the jobs here.
Exactly. Let's look at the comment. Trump's tariffs are a game changer, keeping jobs in America and making money off other countries, boosting the economy. This is gonna endanger the economy from Canada, Mexico, and China, but it's gonna boost the US economy. Of course, President Trump is a beast. He knows how to negotiate. He knows how to get great deals. I think not only but the amount they pay for flight. Okay, Trump is the best. People who didn't vote for Trump are morons. The Europeans are trying to tell America how to be successful. I think America is the most successful country in the world. That's why so many people want to go to America. I think Trump is gonna succeed making America great again. He thinks tariffs are going to be a positive for America's economy, and I think it will be. I think people will start to manufacture products in America. It's gonna create jobs in America. It's gonna reduce inflation in America. Otherwise, if they don't make their products in America, they are gonna suffer heavy tariff if they want to sell in the US. Otherwise, they are gonna have to find other places, other economy to sell their product. Let me know what you think about this tariff strategy. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, click right there to watch the next video, and I will see you there. Bye bye.